Pisces, final warning for May 11th and May 13th. One mistake could cost you everything. Welcome to Buddhist Daily Wisdom, where every word is not meant to be merely heard, but to open a door leading deep within you, where your soul has always known the answers. It's just been waiting for you to gently knock and step through. Today, if you are a Pisces, or simply someone who feels that something profound is drawing near, then please don't go anywhere. Pause. Turn off all the noise. Place your tea or coffee in front of you and take a deep breath. Because what you're about to hear is not advice. It's not a forecast. It is the final warning from fate. May 11th and May 13th, two dates that may seem ordinary, secretly hold an extremely dangerous crosspoint. I call it the fracture in the light circuit, the moment when Pisces intuition becomes clouded by the very thing you trust most, your own emotions. In astrology, these 2 days mark a rare alignment between Neptune, the planet of dreams, Saturn, the keeper of karma, and a dark angle from the moon as it moves through a sector directly influencing Pisces. When all three form an asymmetrical triangle, what arrives is not misfortune, but a haze disguised as conviction. The Buddha once taught that it's not what you see, but what you refuse to see that leads you into delusion. And that is the trap Pisces falls into so easily. You love through intuition. You choose by feeling. You live like a stream of water, gentle, forgiving, flowing wherever emotion calls. But because of that, you don't notice when your waters begin to darken, when your emotions begin to betray you. Perhaps you've already sensed something approaching, a change, a proposal, a new opportunity, someone returning from the past, or just an unnamed sensation, as if something important is waiting for your decision, but you're unsure. I'm not here to tell you what is right. I'm only here to say this: if you choose wrong during these 2 days, it's not money you may lose, it is the safety of your soul that may begin to shake. Nostradamus, the prophet who left behind more than 6,000 lines considered a time diary, once wrote, "The one who bears the symbol of the twin fish, when turning back to the past to look at the future, will drop the present from their hands." Pisces, you don't need to return to the past. You don't need to race into the future. You only need to stand still during these 2 days. Don't rush decisions. Don't trust sweet words too quickly. Don't text back just because you're afraid of missing out on someone or something. If you're still listening now, it means you're ready to pause and hear your soul whisper. And that is the most important thing. Because the universe never sends warnings to those without a mission. If you are being alerted, it means you are holding a vital light for your future, and for others too. So before we continue, let's make this moment a ritual. Click like as a sign you've received the right frequency. Comment "I am ready to awaken" as a promise to yourself. Subscribe to the channel, because the upcoming videos will be your spiritual map for May, not only to help you avoid mistakes, but to guide you toward unexpected blessings. And if you know someone who is a Pisces, or someone standing at the edge of a major decision, share this video with them. Don't wait. You might be the key that helps them avoid a mistake no one else can see. Pisces, you don't need to understand it all. You only need to slow down. Because from this moment on, even your intuition, which has always been your light, could become your shadow if you don't know when to trust and when to stop. Part 1, Astrological Warning. When the universe shifts direction, there are times when it doesn't move with thunder. It pivots in silence. And it is in those quiet turns that fate is rewritten. For Pisces, the one who feels life through the deepest wavelengths of the soul, this change doesn't arrive as a clear event. It comes as a subtle unease slipping into your breath, a dream you can't name, a worry without form. And then, if you are not mindful enough, you will unconsciously make a choice that seems small, almost insignificant, but just enough to pull your entire destiny in another direction. On May 11th and May 13th, a rare configuration between Neptune, Saturn, and the dark moon will activate a karmic vortex directly within your sign, making your intuition, once your North Star, become cloudy, even deceptive. Neptune is your ruling planet, a symbol of dreams, spirituality, and mysticism, but also of illusion, the blurring of sacred truths and delusions. When Neptune aligns with the moon at its darkest phase, the shadow moon, and is simultaneously pulled downward by the gravity of Saturn, the force of reality and karma, what emerges is a powerful conflict between belief and truth. You think you are seeing clearly. You think your feelings are wisdom. But in reality, you are seeing through water shimmering under moonlight, a light that makes everything appear more beautiful than it truly is. In Buddhist philosophy, this is called subtle ignorance, a rare and dangerous state in which the mind believes it is enlightened, while it is still ruled by past conditioning and deep emotional attachments. And if you make decisions while in this state, you're not just making a mistake, you're doing so with unwavering conviction that you are right. That is the most dangerous part. Because Pisces lives by faith, a faith often stronger than logic. You trust without needing proof. You love by instinct. You empathize so deeply that you feel other people's pain as your own. And in doing so, you may forget whether you're sacrificing something precious from your own soul. During these 2 days, someone may appear, an opportunity, an apology, a long-lost relationship, and you'll feel that this is destiny. But that feeling of destiny may in fact be an illusion, crafted not by your heart, but by astrology itself, with Neptune amplifying your intuition and Saturn pressuring you to act, whispering that if you don't move now, you'll lose everything. But remember, nothing truly valuable is lost when you choose stillness. Nostradamus once wrote in a cryptic prophecy, the one who bears the symbol of 2 fish, when the waters are too calm, that is when the trap is laid beneath the deepest depths. And Pisces, you are that symbol. One fish swimming toward the past, and the other swimming toward the future. And because you don't always know exactly where you are, you forget that the present is your only true anchor. If someone suddenly feels like they've arrived at the perfect moment, please, wait. If an opportunity makes your heart race, your hands tremble, and your soul whisper, "This is fate," please, pause. Because true destiny doesn't confuse you. It calms you. And if you are not calm, it is not light, it is the mist that Neptune has drawn across your path, fogging your mind with the very hopes and longings you've been carrying for years. Don't let old expectations rewrite new karma. Don't let impatience push you back into a familiar cycle simply because it's now wearing a new face. The Buddha said, when you stop seeking, the right thing will arrive. And during these fated days, Pisces doesn't need to act. You only need to not act in haste. Don't reply to messages in a weak moment. Don't say yes just because a wave of emotion struck. Don't invest. Don't sign. Don't confess. Don't retreat. Just stand still, and see what remains. What stays is real. What fades was illusion. And if you're still here, still listening, still feeling, then mark this moment as a quiet ritual. Click like as a sign that you are choosing to step back and see clearly. Leave a comment saying, "I won't choose from fleeting emotion," as a vow to your future self. Subscribe to Buddhist Daily Wisdom, because May is not yet over, and the next videos will help guide you through this journey without losing your way. And share this message like a small light, offering it to someone else who may be swimming through cloudy waters, unaware of what awaits. Because Pisces, you don't need to force. You don't need to explain. You only need to do what you were born to do, become still, and listen deeply to what is really happening. The universe is shifting. And if you know how to sit still, you won't be swept away. Instead, you'll see the door open, gently but unmistakably, right within your own heart. Part 2, the nature of mistakes. Not from outside, but from within. There's a truth most people don't want to admit: the biggest mistakes in life don't come from circumstances, not from others, and not from bad luck. They come from somewhere far closer, from within ourselves. And for Pisces, the zodiac sign that lives through emotion, dreams through intuition, and loves with the soul, this is truer than for anyone else. You don't often make mistakes because you lack knowledge. You make them because you trust too quickly, too deeply, in things you haven't yet had time to truly discern. And more frightening than anything is when you think, this time will be different. That thought, repeated, sweet, kind, hopeful, but also naive and baseless, is the most beautiful trap karma could ever build for you. On May 11th and May 13th, the astrological configuration will unfold like a maze within your inner world, paths woven from illusion. Neptune, your ruling planet, pours into your consciousness a stream of soft, fluid, deeply connected energy, but one filled with risk if you don't know how to filter it. And when that flow is combined with Saturn, the bearer of old karma and soul lessons, what you feel will be intense, as if your soul is screaming, something pushing you to act. But please be mindful. Because not all intuitions come from awareness. Some arise from wounds that haven't yet healed. And when intuition is born from a fear of loss, from loneliness, or from a hunger to be loved, that is not intuition. That is illusion. The Buddha taught, what is most frightening is not the mind that cannot see clearly, but the mind that believes it already does. And during those 2 days, Pisces is especially vulnerable to falling into a state known as false clarity, a subtle condition in which the mind is convinced it's on the right path, but is actually walking in circles, repeating an old pattern dressed in a new disguise. It could be someone returning after a long absence. A proposal that seems divinely timed. A project that feels destined. But if you look closely, you'll see the repetition, the same type of person, the same situation, the same emotional pull, just wearing a different name, in a different setting. But the lesson is the same. Nostradamus once wrote, in a nearly untranslatable verse, the one who carries the twin fish in their blood, if they haven't learned to see themselves clearly, will keep swimming in a pond they dug with their own hands. And perhaps that's exactly what you're about to do, an unconscious action, born from an unresolved inner habit. A choice made from the anxious belief, if I don't grab this now, I'll miss out. But the truth is, some things are not meant to stay. Some people, some moments, some offers, they are meant to pass through your life to teach you a lesson, not to be held on to. Pisces, your greatest mistake doesn't come from being too trusting. It comes from refusing to admit that even a beautiful intuition can be wrong. You're afraid of hurting others. Afraid of missing out on the chance of a lifetime. Afraid that if you don't follow your heart this time, you might lose something wonderful. But listen, if something truly belongs to you, it will not ask you to fight to keep it. It will stay. Peacefully. Without urgency. Without pressure. The Buddha once said, a calm heart is enough. A restless heart is already lost. And in these coming 2 days, if your heart begins to stir, if you feel like you must act now, then maybe, the thing you need to do most is nothing at all. Step back. Write down what you're feeling. Look at that person, that proposal, that opportunity, from a greater distance. Ask yourself, deeply and honestly, is this love? Or is it lack, wrapped in emotion? Is this a true opportunity? Or just a dream I've created to escape reality? And if the answer is unclear, then you don't need to answer now. If you are standing on the edge of a big decision, please leave a comment saying, I will not let emotion deceive reason. It's not just a phrase, it's an energetic imprint on your timeline. So that when you look back, you'll know, you chose awareness over reaction. Click like if you know it's time to slow down. Subscribe to this channel so you won't miss the next waves of energetic messages. And share this video, because maybe the person you care about most is standing right in front of the same mistake you once walked through. You can't stop the waves from coming, but you can learn not to swim toward the ones that drown you. You can't control who walks into your life, but you can control who you open the door to. And sometimes, wisdom isn't about knowing what to do, it's having the courage to do nothing until things become clear. That is not avoidance. That is the deepest form of courage. Part 3, the ritual to rescue your destiny, for Pisces. If you've followed me this far, it means you're not just listening with your ears. You're listening with a very deep part of your soul, the part that knows intuition is not always truth, and that sometimes, you need a real act to shift the vibrations surrounding you. Don't think that avoiding mistakes is enough. Because if you just stay still without generating a counter vibration, you'll still be pulled back into the familiar, into the place where karmic patterns silently call you home. That's why, to truly break free from the karmic spiral of May 11th and May 13th, Pisces needs more than just a warning. You need a ritual to rescue your energy. A simple act, yet deep enough to shift the structure of karma within your own mind. No temple required. No offerings. Just your full presence, a pen, a blank sheet of paper, and a quiet space. Choose a moment when the outside world softens, perhaps early dawn, or at dusk. Sit in a place where you won't be disturbed. In front of you lies the blank paper, symbolizing your mind before it was stained by illusion. Place your right hand over your heart. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, whisper softly, I am returning. Then gently, without overthinking, write down the 3 things that are confusing you most right now. It could be a person, a decision, a nameless feeling. Don't analyze. Don't embellish. Write as if you're speaking to an old soul friend, one who understands you, not through words, but through heartbeats. Every word you write is a piece of inner shadow being named. And once seen, it begins to dissolve. When you are finished writing, slowly read each line back to yourself, as a confession to your soul. No judgment. No need to correct. Just witness, with compassion. Then, at the bottom of the page, write a single word, Aquaria. This ancient word is linked to the water element and Pisces' spiritual frequency. It means awakening in the fog. Fold the paper and keep it close to you on May 11th and May 13th as a talisman, created not from magic, but from your own honest energy. Each morning, before reaching for your phone, place your hand over the paper and silently repeat, I do not act from emotion. I wait until real light appears. This is not a mantra. It is a soul-level vow to the universe, that you will not let haze dictate your actions. Alongside this writing ritual, spend at least 5 minutes each day meditating while facing southwest, the direction of the water element, where emotional energy softens and transforms. Sit upright, palms resting gently on your thighs, eyes closed. Imagine a candle before you. Not flickering. Not wavering. Just a small, steady flame. With each inhale, see that light grow. With each exhale, imagine yourself blowing away layers of fog, old illusions, nameless expectations, and intuitions that once deceived you. In Buddhism, the breath is the bridge between delusion and awakening. And when you breathe with light, you are already halfway out of the dream. And if, during those 2 days, you feel your heart begin to tremble, avoid 3 things at all costs. Do not sign contracts, do not reply to emotional messages, and do not make life-altering decisions. Because if you act while your heart is unclear, every choice will echo an old wound. If your emotions feel hard to manage, don't suppress them. Transform them into conscious action. Click like to anchor the energy of commitment, and as you do, know that this small gesture becomes a ripple, your vow to yourself that this time, you will not be swept away. I am ready to wait for true light. Subscribe to this channel as a way to link yourself with a community of awakening souls, and share this video, because maybe, just one person who receives it today will avoid the same mistake you once made. And if you do that from the heart, the energy of that action will return to you as an unexpected gift, right at the moment you need it most. Pisces, you were not born to get lost in someone else's dream. You were born to dream consciously, where emotion is a tool, not a chain. And this ritual today, though simple, if done with your full heart, becomes a new imprint on the palm lines of your destiny. You don't need to change the whole world. You just need to change how you walk through these 2 fated days, and the entire karmic cycle will shift on its own. Part 4, Signs from the Universe. There are warnings that are not written in words. There are destinies that do not call your name with a voice. They arrive quietly, slowly, through the most ordinary moments, a fleeting glance, a dream without clear meaning, a random shiver, a text that repeats a memory long buried. The universe doesn't need to speak loudly, because only those who are still enough can truly hear. And for Pisces, the sign born with the most spiritually sensitive structure in the entire zodiac, every sensation that seems trivial on May 11th and May 13th may in fact be the final whisper, helping you avoid a mistake that cannot be undone. In astrology, when Neptune, the ruling planet of Pisces, is under pressure from a square to the moon and a direct opposition from Saturn, your emotional field opens like a door without a guardian. All energies flow in, both light and shadow. And the danger is, you won't be able to distinguish which light is real and which is simply illusion, reflected through your own longing. People you once disconnected from may reappear right on time. Opportunities you once dreamed of may knock again. Old feelings may rise through a single touch, a familiar smile, a phone call from someone long gone. But let me remind you, this may not be the universe bringing them back. It may be karma retesting old lessons, not so you can continue, but to see whether you've truly learned. Nostradamus once wrote in an ancient line of prophecy, the one who bears the mark of dreaming waters, when facing familiar shadows, must ask if it is happiness or illusion revived. And that question, Pisces, is the one you must ask yourself on these exact days. Because the greatest mistake does not lie in what happens, but in assuming it's happening for a good reason. Not everything that returns should be kept. Not every open door is meant to be stepped through. The clearest signs the universe sends to you during this time will arrive through disruptions in the ordinary. You will feel as if things are too coincidental. Someone appears just as you think of them. A repeating number. A song tied to heartbreak echoing on a busy street. A dream where you are lost inside a tall building with many floors but no exits. A strange feeling that you're about to make a major choice, even though nothing in reality seems that urgent. But trust me, every one of these foggy moments is real. They don't come to scare you. They come as signals. And if you don't slow down, you'll pass right through the warning, and into a fate you cannot undo. The Buddha once taught, everything happening in this present moment is the echo of karma already sown. And if a door opens exactly when you're unsure whether you've changed, that's not an opportunity. That's a test. Not to keep going, but to pause and prove that you are finally awake. On May 11th and May 13th, pay special attention to your dreams. Pisces is the dreamweaver of the zodiac. And during this phase, where Neptune is fully activated, your brain will operate in theta waves, a sacred space where the boundary between subconscious memory and karmic memory dissolves. The dreams you see, especially those where you're being chased, where you're lost, where you're walking endlessly, are not meaningless. They are wave signals sent from your soul to call you back. If you wake up tired without knowing why, if your chest feels heavy, your sleep uneasy, if you hear the name of someone from your past or catch a familiar look in the eyes of a stranger, pause. Not to overanalyze, but to ask, am I being tested? And if that question makes you uneasy, then that is the answer. Because true awakening doesn't come when you understand. It comes when you stop needing to explain. And if you feel like something is about to happen, please don't skip the protective ritual I once shared. On the mornings of May 11th and May 13th, do not speak right after waking. Do not touch your phone. Sit still. Place your hand over your heart and close your eyes. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. And say silently within, if today is a lesson, may I be still enough to see it. If today is a crossroads, may I have enough light to choose rightly. That single sentence will be a soft shield around you for the entire day, helping you see what is true and what is merely karmic repetition. And if you're still here, still listening, then I invite you, and all the dear souls watching, to click like as an act of stamping your awakening onto your own timeline. Leave a comment, I will not walk into the same door again, as a promise to yourself. Subscribe to this channel so that when the next wave of cosmic energy hits, you won't have to face it alone. And share this video, because perhaps someone far away, someone you'll never meet, just needs a small signal like this to turn back from a mistake that fate had quietly lined up for them. Pisces, you don't need to predict the future. You only need to look deeply into the present, where every signal is already quietly arranged before you by the universe. A question. A hunch. A moment that makes you want to cry for no reason. Don't deny it. Acknowledge it. Because when you are still enough to see, the universe will show you. And perhaps that sacred silence, filled with awareness, will be the very thing that saves you from a destiny you never wanted. Not through strength, but through the light of your awakening. And now, as you've walked with me through the deepest layers of this journey, from the silent astrological currents swirling beneath the surface of destiny, to the inner crossroads where only you could feel the weight of your decision, from the sacred energy rituals, to the delicate signs the universe has been placing before you like feathers falling through a dream, I ask you to pause. Not to think. Not to guess what will come next. But to feel. Feel if the left side of your chest is warming with each beat. Feel if a brighter, more awakened version of Pisces is emerging in your mind. One that no longer crumbles under every wave of emotion. And if so, that is not illusion. That is a new frequency you have just created through your own awakened choices. Along this path, no one forced you to listen. No one held you here. But you chose to stay. You chose to face yourself. You chose to stop, right before repeating an old spiral. And that, Pisces, is the beginning of a completely new destiny. You see, sometimes we don't need to climb the highest rungs to change our fate. We only need to stop one step before falling into the abyss. One single moment of stillness is enough to turn the entire wheel of karma. As the Buddha taught, the one who stops in the middle of the trance walks fastest on the path of enlightenment. And if you feel something lighter in your chest, if you feel a stream of light slipping between the fog, then congratulations. You've just done what millions cannot. You saw the mistake before it happened. Nostradamus once wrote, "The one bearing the symbol of the two fishes, if they pause before the whirlpool, shall be guided across the vast sea by light." And that light, I believe, has just begun to shine on you. Not dazzling. Not blinding. But gentle. Enduring. And it will lead you into a world you've only dared to dream of, until now. If just one video could make you feel transformed, how far could you go if you kept awakening like this every single day? If one simple ritual could help you recognize a karmic lesson, how powerful would you become if you nurtured that presence regularly? And if one timely choice could save you from a great mistake, can you imagine how many more beautiful things await just ahead, if you continue trusting in the light you've touched today? And if you've truly felt something shift, don't let it slip away like a passing feeling. Seal it with action. Click like as a signal to yourself, "I will not let this light fade." Leave a comment, even just the word "awakened," as a mantra, a sacred mark you plant in fertile karma. Subscribe to Buddhist Daily Wisdom, because this isn't just one video. It's a weekly path of awakening you can walk together. And share this message, because you never know. A single share today could save a soul standing at the edge of a mistake no one else can see. And sometimes, that soul is the one you love most. Finally, I invite you right now to close your eyes for a moment. Place your hand on your heart. And whisper softly in your mind these three simple phrases. I forgive all that once caused me pain. I will not repeat what my soul has already overcome. I walk toward the light with eyes wide open. If you've just spoken those words, then from this moment on, you are no longer the Pisces you once were. You have officially crossed the threshold, between emotion and truth, between confusion and clarity, between a repeating destiny, and a brand new path filled with abundance. And I believe, if you hold on to this state of awakening, you won't just avoid the missteps of May 11th and May 13th, you will open an entirely new cycle, where everything you touch, love, fortune, opportunity, will come from the light you've just ignited within yourself.